News at noon starts right now.
Take a look at that. A transformer on fire. The video coming to us from a viewer taken from the back porch.
You can see that transformer just exploded. This is on the northwest side near Cedar Creek Golf Course.
This is just one of the reasons we saw so many power outages today. Coming up, we're going to have an update, a full update on where CPS Energy is with all the restoration efforts.
And we do have team coverage this noon. Mia Montgomery has a look at the damage on the north side. Sarah Spivey has the latest on her way back from burning. And of course, we're going to check in with meteorologist Justin Horn and Stephen Cavazos in just a minute.
But first, a man caught up in a house fire on the south side. They were transported to the hospital. And Max Massey joining us live from the scene near the corner of East Dixon and Snyder.
So, Max, what do we know about this victim so far?
Guys, just a few minutes ago, I talked to police. They actually tell me it was a woman who lived alone here in the house. They say she was able to escape the flames. They actually found her in the backyard, and they tell me that she had second-degree burns to her forehead and the top of her scalp. She was transported to BAMC and under Priority 1 conditions. She is expected to recover. But guys, take a look at what we're seeing out here right now. Fire crews just left a few minutes ago. It's a much more calm and quiet situation than what we arrived to earlier this morning. So take a look at some of the video. This situation unfolding just after 10:30 a.m. Firefighters say the initial call actually came out just after 10 a.m. They tell us that they stayed offensive the entire time, fighting this fire, making sure the flames didn't spread to any of the surrounding homes. We're told police did get that victim out and in the ambulance and transported. Important to mention, no injuries to any of the responding firefighters. I talked to neighbors. They tell me clearly a scary situation to start the day. One man we spoke to, he actually was able to get his mother-in-law out of the home that was right next door to this house that caught on fire.
But when adults commit to being a coach, they take on a lot of responsibility. Adults who fail to live up to those expectations fail our students.
Yeah, that was actually not the soundbite that we talked to the neighbor. We're going to hear more from him on KSAT12. Fire command on the scene, though, telling me during this cold weather, make sure to be mindful of open flames, keep space heaters away from anything else, and him telling me that it's always tough this time of year for firefighters, having to respond to fires just like this one. Now, as for the cause, police telling us that the woman told them that it was actually the stove that caught something on fire, those flames spreading. As for what's left of the home, we're still waiting for a damage assessment, trying to figure out if this house is in livable condition. Ursula, David, back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Max. And it should be important to note, if you're trying to heat your home using a stove or space heater, they are very dangerous. You need to keep an eye on them.
And there's what it looks like outside with live cam. Is that ice on the lens or is that rain on the lens, Justin?
It's liquid. It's liquid right now. Temperatures are just above freezing here in San Antonio. And that's a good thing. We're seeing this situation over here behind me all too often this morning, especially on the north side of San Antonio. And as you get up into the hill country, trees are coming down in a lot of spots. The weight of the ice pulling these limbs down, and there's some safety concerns with this kind of thing going on. Pulls down power lines. Looks like some power lines were involved in this one. This, by the way, sent into our KSAT Connect. This is one of many, and I mean many, photos we're getting on KSAT Connect that look a lot like this. The ice accumulation was pretty significant overnight. We saw heavy precipitation move through. We picked up over half an inch of rain here in San Antonio, but you got into the north side of town up along 1604. It turned to ice, and the accumulations again were fairly significant, enough to put enough weight on these limbs to pull them down, and these trees are snapping left and right. We're going to have more on that in just a second. First, though, let's look at radar. We still have some precipitation moving through. It's all light, but it's there. And we're still seeing some light freezing precipitation, which is adding to those accumulation numbers up across the hill country. New Braunfels, north of that, that's where temperatures are still sub-freezing. 30 right now in Kerrville, 28 Fredericksburg, but 34 in New Braunfels, so just above that mark there. 34 here in San Antonio, and a little closer look at Bexar County. Most everyone is above the freezing mark, with the exception of Helotes, still sitting at 32 at this hour. Our KSAT 12-hour forecast calls for more cold, drizzly rain today. Temperatures will only make their way up to around 35 or so. But thankfully, temperatures stay at that mark most of tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we're not looking for more ice, at least here in town. Now, as you go north of town again, that's a different story. We'll sit right at about 34, 35 overnight. Good news here, a lot of this clears out tomorrow, and we'll get some warmer temperatures. Someone who's been through 2 days of this up in Bernie, meteorologist Sarah Spivey joining us now, and she's on her way back. What are you seeing as far as the roads are concerned?
Yeah, Justin, we are on I-10 eastbound, heading from Bernie back to San Antonio, and there's good news all around. I mean, the roads are all right. Take a look at this. We've actually got in front of us here, we've got the folks at KSAT treating the roads. We really have not seen any problems, even on bridges and overpasses. Of course, we're going slow. Of course, we're going slow. But again, things are looking good for us, which is pretty nice. I want to show you here, I'm going to turn on the windshield wipers so that you can see a little bit better. As we turn around though, there are the wonderful folks at KSAT. Take a look at the top of our storm chaser here, all of the ice that we're seeing on top of our storm chaser. Now, as we turn back around again, it's good news that KSAT is treating these roads for us, because there's plenty of road spray and we don't want any refreezing over areas on the roads. So that is some good news. Now, something to keep in mind is that this is becoming much more of a heavy ice on trees situation, resulting in a lot of issues out there with trees being broken. Our very own meteorologist, Mia Montgomery, is live out near Encino Park. Mia, tell us what you're seeing out there.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, we are out here in northern Bexar County, north of 1604 and east of Highway 281. And really just in the past 30 to 45 minutes that we've been here, we have really seen some sights. As Justin mentioned earlier, a big thank you to all of the folks that have sent in those pictures of tree branches that have been hanging over because of the weight of that ice on KSAT Connect. I want to show you a firsthand view of what that looks like. Take a look at this. Now, normally you would be able to see these street signs here, but because of the weight of all of that ice that was accumulated on the trees here in northern Bexar County, you can see how much those tree branches are really bending over and encompassing those street signs. Just about 30 to 45 seconds ago, Photog Sal and I behind these trees just heard some snapping of branches due to the weight of that ice. So just a safety tip, hopefully a lot of folks are not out and about on the roadways here, or at least just walking near these trees this afternoon in northern Bexar County. If you do happen to come across any trees that look like this, stay away from them, because yes, those branches can snap and that's when it can be dangerous. Now, I do briefly want to touch on the road conditions that we saw just traveling up 281, getting here to northern Bexar County. The 1604-281 overpass was still blocked off in both directions due to the issues reported earlier this morning. But as far as the street roads and street surfaces went, yes, they were still messy and wet because of the kind of rain that we've seen so far today, but we didn't have any issues when it came to ice. Still, we do need to be extra careful out there on the roads throughout the remainder of this Wednesday. Of course, still some travel impacts possible across portions of the hill country where those temperatures still below freezing. So we'll continue to monitor things out here, and we'll check back in with you guys in the next half hour. But let's head on over to Stephen Cavazos to get a full in-depth look at how those roads are looking. Stephen.
Hey, Mia, thank you so much, and stay safe out there. But as you mentioned, 281 north at Loop 1604, those connecting ramps still closed off. And at last check, as I was talking to our friends over at TransGuide, that's still the case. And you want to make sure that you just basically avoid travel if you can. If you don't need to head out, that's great. Just stay home. But for those that do have to travel, this is what you can expect. A lot of these TransGuide cameras have shown us a lot of droplets. Some of them have even collected ice. And again, that is because they are a little bit higher above than some of the other surfaces that we typically see. So that's why they were able to accumulate some of the ice on the cameras there, which obviously made it a little bit difficult to make out some of the conditions. But check out 10 at Kerrville. We do know that meteorologist Sarah Spivey is making her way on back from Bernie, and she did show us some of the conditions. We also know that TxDOT crews are still out there treating the roadways, and we can likely expect that to continue later into the evening hours. I was just talking to our friends over there a little bit earlier. We do know that crews can came as far as the Rio Grande Valley to help out with that situation. So we want to thank them for, again, just helping us out in these dicey conditions. But the big closure will be right there at Loop 1604 at US 281 connecting ramps. Those directions, in both directions, I should say, are being impacted right now. The good news is we have not seen really a lot of folks out there this morning. So that's really helped in terms of avoiding crashes, avoiding any congestion. And really, that's some good news because we want folks to just stay safe. If they can stay at home, that's even better. So quick driving tips. If you have to head out the door in the next few moments, let's get back to this graphic over here before we show that QR code, because we do have some helpful driving tips according to TxDOT. If we can get that graphic up, that would be fantastic. If not, then we'll have to get it on our website a little bit later. But just treat traffic signals that are out in those areas where we do see some of the power outages as four-way stops. Avoid driving across down power lines. That's something that we've reiterated several times. Slow down on bridges or overpasses. And of course, if you do have to travel, increase that distance between vehicles. And you can scan that QR code now, and I'll get that on our Twitter page, and that will connect you to all the traffic related stories, closures that are current. And again, just plan that commute ahead of time if you can. The best thing to do is just stay home. David, Ursula.
Thank you, Stephen. Of course, with all this weather, you know that there's going to be an effect with the airports all across the country, especially here in San Antonio. If you were traveling to Dallas or parts further north, our Tiffany Huertas was at the airport this morning to find out about those delays.
Continue to see the same issues, and people are having to travel through other cities to get to their destination.
I was hoping it wouldn't happen because Austin is worse right now.
Roland Badillo Jr. traveled to San Antonio from Austin, hoping to catch his vacation flight to Mexico City.
Because of the weather conditions, they say they canceled.
Badillo was traveling through Valeris.
I just had to switch airlines, get another airline. I'll be leaving in about 4 hours.
Other travelers tell us they are changing their connecting flights and avoiding places like Dallas, where the winter weather has hit hard. A spokesperson for the San Antonio International Airport says they had more than 60 departures and arrivals canceled, plus 40 delayed flights. Badillo hopes to start his vacation soon.
I hear in the news, pack your patience. Well, okay.
FlightAware says more than 1,800 flights have been canceled nationwide. Reporting from the San Antonio International Airport, Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
It might be a good time to check on your neighbors. Here's a look at some of the power outages right now. 138,000 outages, 17,000 customers affected, as many as 40,000 people were without power at one point this morning. And as you can see, overnight and this morning, a lot of people were left in dark rooms getting some cold meals. Thousands of people in the region had to overcome all this morning. Katrina Weber shows us how power lines and tree limbs just don't mix.
Long before sunrise, dark skies were expected, but dark traffic lights, street lights, and buildings were not. And for many people, that was part of the problem that started off this wintry Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we had power. It was actually flickering.
Brandy Zillish was one of the lucky ones. At one point, though, people in about 40,000 homes and businesses lost electricity. CPS Energy crews scrambled, picking up downed power lines like these near Gilboa and Bandera roads and repairing other problems. In a tweet, the utility said the weather was to blame. These smaller trees are really not the problem, but this kind of freezing on larger trees and power lines is what CPS Energy says has caused most of the outages. It was only after Zillish hit the road that she realized anything was wrong.
Oh, yeah. But then I figured, since there's no school today for the kids and
she came out to pay her property taxes, but found all county offices closed. The government got ahead of the weather and the outages here.
I guess, tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully they'll be open tomorrow.
Zillish easily was ready to put this inconvenience in the past. Others all over town also hoped for quick relief from the power outage problems. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Still coming up this half hour, believe it or not, Tom Brady has retired again. His announcement very short and to the point. We'll have it for you in a few minutes.
We hinted at it just a few minutes ago. The freezing rain did have a little bit of a bright side. People in Bexar County will now have more time to pay their property taxes. The county extending the deadline since offices are closed today due to all this cold weather. The deadline to pay property taxes will be put off until Thursday, and offices have extended their hours tomorrow. They will close at 6:30 p.m. The Bexar County tax assessor collector Albert Uresti says there are only a few phone operators working today, and they are available to answer your questions about all this. People can call 210-335-2251 today. Tax payments, by the way, can also be made online and by phone.
Outside with Live Kevin Gibb. You know, if you're new to San Antonio, you have seen a distinct line between the city and the hill country because this freeze line has drawn it for you, which I find just utterly amazing to me how it just quits right when you get to town.
At my house, we just got rain.
It's a matter of miles. It really is. That freezing line set up right along 1604, at least it was north of that mark where we had a lot of the ice and we're having a lot of the trees coming down because of that ice accumulation. We're going to show you some of those numbers. Plus, we're going to take a look at some pictures and videos showing you exactly what's going on. The aquifer is jumping up some 0.3 of a foot to 637.3, and your pollen count's just molds in your low at 50. We've got some of those pictures for you right after the break.
Hey, real quick, just a warning for people who live in the hill country. My wife was out feeding the horses this morning and limbs were snapping and falling to the ground while she was out there, and some of them are pretty big. So if you have a lot of live oaks in your backyard and they're full of ice, do not walk under them because you don't know when they're coming down. She was stunned a couple of times.
Yeah, Mia said she was listening to the crackling out in Timberwood Park as well. Yeah, you don't want to be under a tree right now.
It's very good advice. And you got to watch for icicles coming off the eaves of your house as well. They can be dangerous. They really can. You don't want to walk under these trees as they're cracking. This is a dangerous situation, honestly. But I want to show you some video. This is coming out of North San Antonio, I believe. And I want you to watch in the background here. Let me see if I can get it to play. You'll see what I'm talking about. This dog's going out to get a little bit of fresh air. But look in the background, and you'll see it's happening kind of slowly there, but that limb coming down right there, and that's a big limb. That's not anything you want to mess with, and that's what we're talking about right there. You don't want to mess with that. And this is an incredible time lapse. Skywatcher sent this in. This is over like a 6-hour period, and watch the trees. See how they're just getting weighed down?
Yeah, they're just bowing under the weight.
They are. We'll watch it one more time here, and you can just see what's happening and how much weight that ice puts on those tree limbs. So pretty incredible. And what I'm going to do here is switch back over to our KSAT Connect real quick and show you a few more pictures. These are all pictures that folks have sent in. This is from Bernie. You got a big limb down there. Let me take you over to San Antonio. Whole trees down in this case.
And I think it bears mentioning that with the drought that we've been having, trees have been weakened by the lack of natural rain. And a lot of these trees are so stressed out, this is going to be tough to take.
That's a good point. Even the little ones, I mean, this little tree, this poor thing is just completely weighed down by ice. That's in Bulverde, and look at this. Wow. That split about, what, 3 different ways there? I can't tell if there's any damage to the house. We hope not. I did see an RV in one case that was damaged by a tree falling, but this is the situation we're in. If you live in North San Antonio, or even southern parts of Comal County where the ice is really accumulated. Let me show you here our ice accumulation map. Now, this isn't perfect, but I think extreme northern parts of Bexar County, we picked up about a 1/4 inch of ice, and that was the case to Comal County, and then stretching up towards Austin. That's where we saw the really big numbers, maybe a 1/2 inch of ice, and that certainly will bring down a tree, and we've had a lot of reports here of trees coming down. Here in San Antonio, again, far northern reaches of Bexar County, maybe a 1/4 inch of ice, and probably about a 1/10 of an inch as you get maybe 410 north. South of that, there really was not all that much. It stayed it stayed mostly liquid. The freezing line did try to come down to downtown last night, but it moved further north, and really all the issues have been up here: Helotes, Stone Oak, just along and north of 1604. So let me show you the situation right now. We still got some of that light rain moving through. Mostly liquid, does transition to a little bit of freezing light rain as you get into the hill country still. So there's still some additional ice that's happening here. It's just not as heavy as it was last night. We actually got some pretty heavy stuff. And there's the scene at the airport, still drizzly, rainy, 34, northerly winds at 8. And temperatures around Bexar County are still above that freezing mark, except in Helotes and Bernie Stage. So this area here where we have the higher elevations, you're still below freezing and you still could have some icy issues. As far as the roads are concerned, most of the roads are okay. You still probably want to avoid the bridges and overpasses and in some of these areas up here across the hill country, but most of the roads in San Antonio are fine, as Stephen was pointing out. Wind chill values, 27, that's what it feels like here in town. Feels like 31 in Helotes, feels like 26 at Port SA. Here's the big picture. And we still got a little bit of activity moving through here. You still got a lot of freezing rain and drizzle up across parts of North Texas too. So this is a rather widespread event. There's a large portion of Texas where you just don't want to travel. So what do we have ahead of us? Still could get some more of this light drizzle, light rain throughout the afternoon. We'll take you into this evening, 7 o'clock, same story. All of it's pretty light. We may see it pick up a little bit overnight, but I think that freezing line starts to migrate north a little bit more. And maybe it's moving north into Comal County by 4 a.m. And then by 7 a.m., we're getting rid of this. It's moving out. We'll still get some clouds by midday tomorrow, but by the afternoon, sun may try to pop out. Temperatures will warm up and we'll be done with this. But there will be a lot of melting going on. And there's going to be a lot of cleanup underway next couple of days in these places where all these trees have come down. It's a lot of work, a lot of cleanup, but that's what's going to have to happen going forward. And thankfully, we'll get some good weather for the end of the work week. Today, temperatures stay right there, 34, 35. They're not going to move much. We'll have a decent chance for light rain through the evening, cold rain, and that continues right on into tonight. Here's the extended forecast. We'll go 47 tomorrow. We'll get the clouds early and then some clearing late. 30% chance in the morning. 59 Friday with some morning fog, and then much warmer this weekend. 63 Saturday, 70, and mostly sunny on Sunday. We'll be right back.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Hey, the GOAT is headed out to pasture again. Tom Brady has announced he is retiring from football for the second time, but this time he is insisting it is for good. It was a quick social media post. Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. That was it. So his 23-year Hall of Fame career is over at age 45, but he's about to make a lot of money working for Fox as an analyst. So he'll be okay. All right, speaking of okay, the Spurs could use a big win tonight. They take on the Sacramento Kings, one of the best in the West, believe it or not. Tip-off of that one is at 7 o'clock. Highlights for you coming up tonight on the Night Beat.
With the kids home from school these last couple of days, chances are you might have a bit of a mess going on. And if cleaning up includes vacuuming, technology has made it a lot simpler for you. RoboVacs have become very popular, and there's more than one model to choose from. Today at 5, the pros and cons of RoboVacs, and one that might be right for you.
When it got light this morning, the full view of damage could be seen in North Bexar County.
And meteorologist Mia Montgomery hit the frozen streets there. She's getting a good view of all the ice and the destruction in a neighborhood there. Hi, Mia.
Hey guys, yeah, we are in northern Bexar County, north of 1604, east of 281, near the Encino Park area. Earlier, Justin was talking about wind chills being in the upper 20s and low 30s. Can confirm it is definitely very cold out here. So hopefully you can stay out inside and just kind of stay warm out there. But if you do have to get out and about, make sure that you bundle up. Now, we've been talking about how the hill country has kind of seen the worst of these impacts over the past 36 hours. But northern Bexar County has really seen some pretty decent ice accumulation as well. I want to show you again, yes, we still have these sagging tree branches. We were also mentioning earlier how we need to just kind of stay away from those sagging branches and limbs due to the weight of the ice, because they can snap and break very easily and become dangerous. But also take a look at these power lines. It's probably a little hard to see since the camera is dealing with the gray sky there, but we have icicles on these power lines causing them to sag as well. And some of these power lines even are traveling through these these trees that are really laying over due to the weight of the ice there too. So that is probably one of the reasons why earlier this morning CPS was dealing with about 40,000 customers without power. Thankfully, that number has been coming down since as those crews work pretty diligently to restore all of that power. But again, it just serves as a good safety reminder that if you do have to be out today, be sure to stay away from these sagging trees, these power lines, because if they snap and break, that means that we could see some issues and they could be pretty dangerous there as well. We're going to continue to keep eyes on conditions out here north of 1604 in northern Bexar County, just kind of monitoring things and updating as we need to. So for now, reporting live on the north side in northern Bexar County, Mia Montgomery, KSAT12 News.
I think this is a really good example, thank you, Mia, of how when the power company comes through with the tree trimming service in your neighborhood and it's annoying and it's making a mess and it's really loud, let them through, because they are making sure that doesn't happen in your neighborhood.
You know, it's an excellent point. Honestly, it really is. We just keep getting more and more pictures, guys, of just situations just like this. Look at these trees. Just came right down. Those are big ones. This person says 2 trees down in addition to many limbs, too many to mention. Cleanup starts soon. Where's the chainsaw? The chainsaws are going to be out probably starting tomorrow. You know, a lot of people are asking, well, we've seen ice storms like this before. What's the difference? And really, it's accumulation of ice. We saw the heavier rounds of precipitation last night, and it just added up to more. We're talking 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 an inch of ice, and that starts to bring trees down. And we kind of showed you the corridor earlier of where it's North Bexar County up to the Austin area. That's where it's going to be really, there's going to be a lot of trees down. And then, of course, the power lines are an issue as well. So this is what we're going to be dealing with next couple days. A lot of cleanup, I'm afraid. It does get a little bit better. We're seeing that freezing line slowly migrate north. We've seen that throughout the morning. And temperatures are above freezing for most of San Antonio, but there's still some light precipitation moving through. And in places like Seguin, where temperatures are right there below freezing, and maybe you are getting some freezing rain and freezing drizzle there in Seguin at this hour. It's kind of switching back and forth, but temperatures are right at that threshold. So there still could be additional ice accumulations, and we've got to watch that with the way the trees and power lines are looking right now. Most of San Antonio, I will tell you, is doing okay with the roads and that sort of thing. We still need to watch some of the bridges and overpasses, and unfortunately, we're not getting a report temperature-wise from Seguin, but we know it's 34 in New Braunfels, so it's close. 32 Canyon Lake, 31 Helotes, 30 right now in Bernie Stage, still below freezing there. As you plan out your day, a lot of you are at home. We know school's not in session today. Just take it easy. Temperatures are going to be cold. We'll see a cold, drizzly rain most of the rest of today. Temperatures are not going to move much, right around 34, 35. Wind chills will be in the 20s. And we'll still have a decent chance of rain tonight before we finally get to say goodbye to this storm system coming up tomorrow. More on that forecast and the weekend, too, coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Now to Memphis, where loved ones of Tyre Nichols are gathering for his funeral. Weather slightly delaying today's services. ABC's Justin Finch reports. This comes as we learn some new details from the files of several of the officers now facing second-degree murder charges in Nichols' death.
Heavy hearts in Memphis for the final farewell of Tyre Nichols.
My brother was the most peaceful person you ever met in your life.
As Nichols' loved ones grieve the disciplinary backgrounds of some of the 5 fire police officers charged in this murder are coming into focus. The Memphis Police Department releasing administrative HR files of those former officers seen on video beating Nichols on January 7th. Give us your hands! 4 of the 5 have records with suspensions or written reprimands, but none was previously found to have used excessive force. Demetrius Haley and Desmond Mills Jr. failed to file a quote response to resistance form after using physical force during arrest in 2021 and 2019. Justin Smith suspended for 2 days without pay in order to remedial driving training for striking a vehicle, causing it to spin out and strike another. Emmett Martin III, written up previously for failing to report a domestic violence case as required by law and not inspecting his squad car after a handgun was found on the rear floorboard. And to Darius Bean with no infractions filed on his records. ABC News obtaining an initial incident report from Nichols' arrest and finding stark inconsistencies between it and footage from police body cams and a surveillance camera. Among the biggest, the report does not mention Nichols being punched and kicked by several officers. And the state attorney not ruling out more officers could be held criminally liable as investigations here unfold. Justin Finch, ABC News, Memphis.
Turning to President Joe Biden now, the FBI has concluded a search of his Delaware Beach home and no classified documents turned up there. Today's search is the third time in 3 months that one of his properties has been searched for classified documents that may have been improperly held. These searches all stem back to November when President Biden's legal team reported classified documents found in his office at the Penn Biden Center.
Frontier Airlines offering up some new options for frugal travelers. How you can fly all you want this summer.